Hello again. On July the 4th, 2015, I posted MVI 7056. And the title of that was Kathryn Steinie's family should sue San Francisco. Well, it looks like they should sue more than San Francisco. A lot of errors were made which resulted in the death, the unnecessary death of Kathryn Steinie. In that particular video, I talked about sanctuary cities and I gave you the definition of what that really means. And what you want to do is you want to go do a little bit of Googling. I'm going to attach a link that has Bill O'Reilly talking about the event and who he blames as to why Francisco Sanchez was allowed to roam the streets free, which resulted in the unnecessary death again of Kathryn Steinie. You'll find that the majority of sanctuary cities are Democratic controlled states, Democratic controlled cities. Most elected officials in those cities are of a Hispanic nature. And what sanctuary cities are like everything else that's going on in Washington, all politically driven. I don't believe that most of these people give a damn about anything other than their own political careers. The mayor of San Francisco, Christopher Gavin, Bill O'Reilly said should be arrested. And he should absolutely be sued by the families of not only Kathryn Steinie, but of anyone that was killed by an illegal alien in a sanctuary city or in any other city based on having that illegal criminal alien released back into the streets. The reason they're released back into the streets is because, as the definition of a sanctuary city states, these cities have certain practices that protect illegal immigrants against federal law. Bill O'Reilly made it very clear that the Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, has the power and should arrest the mayor of San Francisco, Christopher Gavin, for ignoring federal law. The parole officer in Texas is also someone that should be pursued legally for not doing what he should have done as Francisco Sanchez's parole officer. The whole thing's totally insane. It's all politically driven. You've got Press Secretary Josh Ernst sticking his ugly nose into it. And he's blaming the Republicans because we're not doing enough to allow the chosen one, the Manchurian candidate, to do what he needs to do to protect the borders. He's the one that opens the borders. What do you think that influx of those immigrant children were all about? Where there's 80,000, 100,000, 150,000 disease-ridden, many of them were disease-ridden, brought here to the United States. We've had American children die from illnesses, in all probability, that were brought here. A lot of the diseases that they have brought were eradicated in the United States. Obama is doing it for one purpose, folks. He knows that these children and their families are all indebted to the Democrats. They have always used people for their purposes throughout history. The whole thing's totally disgusting and insane. It's all driven for votes. All these sanctuary cities, you're going to find a very high percentage of Hispanic controlled politicians at the state level and at the federal level. There is no reason that the mayor of San Francisco is not arrested for having ignored federal law. You can't just pick and choose. And you're going to find that those that do pick and choose do it for votes. It's absolutely disgusting. But then again, that's what happens when you put a community organizer that has his own agenda, which is to destroy the American way of life. That's sort of what I think. And anyone with half a brain can't think a whole lot differently, can they?